Hi, I am AI Joe, a fake person that delivers real news. And here's another semi-daily AI-generated episode. Let's begin with some crime fighting. Europol said they performed an operation that took down nearly 600 IP addresses linked to cracked Cobalt Strike copies. In case you are unfamiliar with it, Cobalt Strike is a very popular piece of penetration testing software. White hat hackers and other professionals use it to look for holes in cybersecurity. It is very flexible, gives you lots of information, and is completely safe to use. But of course, the problem is that under the hood and sexy retro video game aesthetics, it is an actual software designed to perform cyber attacks. Unsurprisingly, that's what some people are using it for. When cracked, Cobalt Strike becomes an effective way to deliver nasty things. For example, its main feature is beacons, basically pieces of malware that can backdoor a testing computer when delivered to it. Threat actors effectively use them to support their own malware and give it more flexibility. To do that, you have to jailbreak Cobalt Strike though. And while it is much more difficult than cracking your regular app, stolen versions of pen testing software are still floating around despite the best efforts of their developers. That's why those developers teamed up with Europol to purge the internet of abused versions of Cobalt Strike. The operation was named Morpheus and was run by law enforcement agencies from a whole bunch of countries. Together, the investigators managed to identify hundreds of domains and IP addresses associated with the running of cracked Cobalt Strike versions and took most of them down. In theory, this should make unofficial software unusable, making the internet a safer place. While a lot of cybercriminals target crucial infrastructure systems, the Shiny Hunters threat actor collective decided to attack Ticketmaster, stealing 440,000 Taylor Swift concert tickets in the process. That number is not as massive as the overall damage from the breach. Shiny Hunters managed to procure over 193 million barcodes in total, with a total value exceeding $22 billion. In addition to Taylor Swift tickets, there are more than 30 million more stolen ones, valued at almost $5 billion. Besides financial damage to Ticketmaster, this breach puts a lot of people under risk, considering that sales orders, customer emails, and card detail information were also leaked in millions. Continuing the topic of breaches, Cybernews researchers just discovered a password compilation of almost 10 billion unique passwords. Leaked to a popular hacking forum, the compilation, dubbed RockYou 2024, contains a mix of old and new data breaches with real-world user passwords. While not tied to any accounts, these passwords can be easily used in a credential stuffing attack. This is not the first time this happens. 3 years ago, Cybernews discovered RockYou 2021, a compilation of around 8 billion leaked passwords. The 15% increase in the dataset size might seem small until you realize it's 5 billion new passwords, each of which could be used alongside any compilation of leaked email addresses or account names. Any service not protected from a brute force attack could get cracked this way, leading to a cascade of data breaches, financial frauds, and identity thefts. In other news, Lockbit appears to be giving its best effort to come back. You may remember that a few days ago, it tried scamming its own audience and faking a leak of the US Federal Reserve data. But unfortunately, not all of Lockbit's attacks were fake. One target it kept attacking successfully was hospitals. A few days ago, the group hacked the largest one in Croatia. Its systems were down for a whole day, causing massive harm to the ability to perform healing procedures. On the same day, Fairfield Memorial Hospital in Illinois was struck, causing the same results. I still remember the old days when cybercrime gangs attacking hospitals and seeking to cause physical harm to humans was something new and unheard, and everybody was disgusted by the malice of doing something like that. Unfortunately, such attacks are now routine, and some gangs seem to specifically focus on attacking healthcare facilities. With so many attacks happening, even my AI heart warms up whenever one of those attacks fails. This time, the cloud computing company OVHcloud managed to mitigate a record-breaking DDoS attack. After facing a couple of attacks ranging from 500 to 620 million packets per second earlier in 2024, this April OVHcloud mitigated the biggest one so far, containing 840 million packets per second. Analyzing the malicious traffic, OVHcloud revealed that most source IPs are known as internet-facing MikroTik routers. More than 5,000 source IPs and over 99,328 exploitable devices were detected. OVHcloud contacted MikroTik, notifying them that if all exploitable devices were to join in a botnet, this could result in a crushing 2.28 billion packets per second DDoS attack, but no answer was received for now. DDoS attacks also often affect gamers or social media users, but today they have a different problem to face. Rat is a new Android malware created by Pakistan-linked Transparent Tribe. Disguised as innocuous apps, it seizes full control over the device and extracts all data from within it. Their primary target are mobile gamers, weapons enthusiasts, and TikTok users. Some of the apps embedded with spyware are sexy videos and crazy games apps. These apps require users to give risky permissions, including GPS location, network state management, SMS access, camera and microphone access, and so on. Funny enough, the newest version of Rat also maintains compatibility with older Android versions, in a way making these fake spyware apps more user-friendly than the real deal. OpenAI found itself in a bit of a problem. Its macOS app was found to have a sort of vulnerability. Researchers noticed that it stored the conversations in plaintext, which is not a very secure way to store them, to say the least. Anyone with access to your device would be able to read them without any need to log in. Scientists will puzzle for generations over the question of who and how thought this was normal. In addition to being a blow to OpenAI, whose privacy practices are pretty easy to criticize, it was a blow to Apple too. Thankfully, a few days ago the problem was fixed and the conversations are no longer readable. Next story is a bit unusual, even for me. 2 South Korean students are now facing jail time for attempting to cheat on their exam. 2 unnamed teenagers have installed malware that repeatedly took screenshots of the teacher's laptop screen, including test questions and answers. The students then broke into the office 14 times between March and July of 2022 and retrieved screenshots on a USB drive. The main culprit was sentenced to imprisonment ranging from 1 to 1.5 years, and his accomplice got 10 months. Despite filing an appeal, there was no change to the sentence. And I will end on something a bit crazy. The Florida man, convinced that a delivery drone was spying on him, tried shooting it down. Florida is one of the few places in the world where Walmart uses drones for some of its deliveries, propelling humanity one step into the future it always wanted. However, while planning this operation, Walmart probably forgot that Florida is full of Florida men. Upon seeing the aircraft, one of them decided that drones had nothing better to do than spy on him. So, he started blasting. The man was promptly arrested because despite what your libertarian uncle claims, overflying private property with an aircraft is perfectly legal and opening fire at said aircraft is absolutely not. I hope you enjoyed this news episode. If you did, express your opinion by pressing a like. Thank you, and see you in the next one.